Fantasy Blind Spot, where we shine the light on what you can't see. He's a cornerstone piece. He's a guy you're going to want on your fantasy team.
It's all about them splash plays.
Oh my God, did that just happen? I can't believe he made that catch.
He's got that big play ability.
The football gods made this guy to play football.
All right, so he's just an explosive runner. He's one of those guys that when he gets in the open space, he just puts his foot in the ground and he's gone. What's up, what's up? Welcome into Fantasy Blind Spot, where we shine light on things you can't see. I am the Blind Guy. You can find me on X at @TheBlindGuyFF. With me, as always, is my co-host, the crazy Canadian Shawn Thompson. You can find him on X at Maximus8911. We're back, everybody, and guess what? The season, we have football every Sunday until the Super Bowl now. So we're getting there.
Yep.
How you doing, bud?
Doing all right. How you doing?
Not too bad. I'm getting excited. Glad to be back, and hopefully going to have some good weather today, which has been not very often the last couple of weeks. So going to get some sun, hanging out. And like I said, we got football this week, Hall of Fame game. It's sort of football. It's more like people wearing NFL uniforms.
Yeah, well, you got Kenny Pickett starting, they've announced, so they're not even going with Bryce Young.
Hey, how about that?
But whatever, right? It is what it is. We got football coming. I think it's one of the best Hall of Fame classes that's being inducted. They've got their notifications there while we're off on break. But Larry Fitzgerald, Drew Brees, Adam Vinatieri, Ricky Waters. Was it? No, Roger Craig, not Ricky Waters.
Yeah, Roger Craig.
And who is the old-time guy? Oh, I got it here.
Why am I drawing a blank?
Luke Kuechly, not the old-time guy. It was Luke Kuechly.
No.
The old-time guy is Roger Craig.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think it's
That's
one
what
of the
I was
best classes that have been inducted in a long time.
Yeah, I agree. And we even had guys we thought would get in that didn't. And then to look at this class also, I know it's probably been that way for you for a few years, but this is one of the classes now that we're coming up on that I watch these guys' whole career. So that makes the classes more interesting as we start getting into the more modern era, getting in.
Well, I was lucky enough to see Roger Craig play a little bit too, so I've been in that era for a little bit. There's been guys that I've watched get drafted and then entered the Hall of Fame, like Calvin Johnson, a couple guys like around that sort of stuff. But
Well, Luke Kuechly is a perfect example. Patrick Willis is another one. Guys that had shorter careers, retired a little early, but were so good they still got in. Right?
yeah,
So,
I got a list here. Where to go? Here we go. All-time youngest introduction into the Hall of Fame.
oh man,
Yeah.
Kuechly's got to be pretty close on that list, right?
He is only behind one person. Gale Sayers is the only one younger than him, getting in at 34 years old, and Luke Kuechly's at 35. There's a couple guys at 35. I assume it just goes by when their actual birthday is.
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
Yeah. Then it goes Jim Brown, 35, and Calvin Johnson at 35. And then we got a list of 36, and that's Barry Sanders, Earl Campbell, Dick Butkus, and then we got 237s at Keelan Winslow, Lance Allsworth, and then at 38, Darnell Revis.
Wow, I guess I didn't realize that those top two names, Gale Sayers, and who was the one right after that?
Luke Kuechly.
All right, maybe after Kuechly, another
Jim Brown?
35-year-old. Yeah, Jim Brown, that's it. I didn't realize those two were that young when they retired, I guess.
Well, didn't Gale Sayers only do 6 seasons?
You know what? I guess he did, but that also meant he came into the league younger than I thought he did. So,
Yeah, and I
just
think
interesting to see some of these guys.
He left for the Army or something, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
There's some weird thing there, but it's just too bad. World Wars friggin' robbed us of some stuff.
Well, Detroit themselves robbed us of some stuff with Calvin Johnson because those teams were just so bad. He's like, nah, I can't do this anymore.
And Barry Sanders. That's not
Yeah,
for
that too.
him. Like, holy crap, they just couldn't. You needed Dan Campbell there earlier.
Yeah, right. Man, could you imagine what he'd do with a guy like Calvin Johnson? That'd be nuts.
Oh yeah, I'd be interested to see. And we got
Especially
Will
when they still had
Levis.
Ben Johnson there.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. But Will Levis is in the news saying that there aren't 32 quarterbacks in the league better than me. Have you seen this?
I have not, but
I laughed when I saw it because all I could think of is, okay, if you think you're one of the 32, who's the 5 to 10 that you think you might be better than? Because I don't think there's you can get 20 that you're better than if you're Will Levis. And if you're saying those bottom 10, one of those bottom 10 has to be Cam Ward. I would say he's one of the worst start quarterbacks right now, and you can't even beat out him.
Well, and I wouldn't expect him to beat out him like that. Going 1 overall versus what did Will Levis go in the first pick of the 4th round? Something like that.
I think he was a 3rd round pick.
Okay, maybe 3rd. Either way, like you weren't even talked about in going in that range. You didn't even have the same college career that Cam Ward had. And if you start looking at the teams that need quarterbacks, like, do you think he'd be better than Malik Willis in Miami? I don't think so, because at least with Malik Willis, he brings a different dynamic. And you haven't seen enough of him to know what he is. Will Levis, if you were as good as you say you are, then why did they end up having to draft Cam Ward that next season? Because he had a year and a half of starts, right?
It was for sure a year. I don't know I think Cam Ward started right off the bat.
Yeah, he did. And that's why I know Will Levis had at least a full season, but his rookie year, I think he started like halfway through the season and was okay and just got worse as the year went on.
Yeah, and then he got worse as this full season that he was doing too. Because teams started figuring him out. He's not too hard to figure out.
That's exactly what I was going to say. When these teams get some film on him, they can figure him out easily, or at least figure out how to confuse him easy enough that he's kept in check. You gotta like your guys having confidence, but there's a point when that confidence becomes arrogance, and I feel like saying you're one of the best 32 in the league.
Yeah, I think he needs to ask the question: am I better? How much better am I than 32 backups? Because you're not better than Mac Jones. So already that's 33 quarterbacks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, let's ask it this way too. Even in the Chargers, Trey Lance is their backup. Would you rather have Trey Lance or would you rather have Will Levis?
I think I'd rather Will Levis at this point.
See, I think I'd rather go Trey Lance. At least he's still got that untapped potential of teams don't know what he is yet.
You think he played one game as a starter, one game.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though.
And then they moved on from him. Or at least Will Levis has a season and a half, you're saying, of experience. So if I'm going for a backup, I'm going to trust more. I'm going to go with Will Levis. I don't know what I'm getting with Trey Lance. And even that one game that he played, it's hard to judge because it was the monsoon game.
Well, he broke his ankle, remember? The next game.
Yeah, but the one game that he did start was against the Bears that he lost in the monsoon to Justin Fields, who lost his job.
I was going to say that. Yeah, that was also
Justin Fields in this monsoon rain on a team that was horrible at the time. Because let's face it, the Bears were one of the worst roster teams.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And you couldn't even beat them. I get it's the rain and the monsoon, but you should have been able to beat them. The 49ers had a stacked team.
I guess I'm just that box factor means maybe I can pull a Jimmy Garoppolo and flip him for a second. You know what I mean? You're not doing that for Will Levis.
No, I don't. Not anytime soon, anyways.
I think what Will Levis's only hope to me is the Geno Smith path, where you find a team that gives you a shot like 6-7 years down the road, and then you become a starter again.
Yeah, like Malik Willis.
Yeah, exactly. Or Sam Darnold just won a Super Bowl last year. Another example.
Well, we got the NFL's put out some tiers here for winning Super Bowl contenders. So on the elite list, we got the Bills, the Ravens, the Rams, the Eagles, and the Seahawks. So that's their 5 most to win. Then they got a list here of contenders with 7 teams on it. They got the Chiefs, the Bengals, which is surprising to me. The Lions, the Packers, the Chargers, the Commanders, which is another surprise, and then the Patriots.
Yeah, so far 2 surprises to me. I think I would move the Ravens down from the elite to this tier just with all the changes happening there.
I would also move Buffalo down for the same reason.
Well, they don't have too many changes. Joe Brady was there last season as the coach.
Yeah, but I think that's just enough. And I'm also getting onto the path here where I don't think Josh Allen is going this Dan Marino route where he's just not going to win anything. Him and friggin' Lamar, they're both excellent quarterbacks. And they play really well, and they are elite quarterbacks. But when it comes time to the playoffs, in season, they've already hit their peaks. They don't have that next level where they can hit that next gear where you're just like, oh, my God, I can't believe Lamar did that or Josh Allen did that. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, there it is again.
It's kind of like they're just always at that level.
Yeah. And it's a great level. It is an elite level. But once you get to that playoffs, these above average players start becoming elite when they got that dog mentality, and these elite players become superstars.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um,
The Commanders, is that just the Jaden Daniels being healthy? And
it's got to
like,
be because
where's
they
the
don't
hype
really
on that?
have. They have no running back room. They have no wide receiver room. Their tight end room's hurting. Like,
You know what? I wonder if that's like the David Blau effect because he's that new offensive coordinator and everybody's super excited about that hire. So maybe that's part of it, is trying to build that up more.
well, I'm hoping that Jaden Daniels comes back.
Yeah.
Then we got some dark horses here. They've got 7 in here that
Okay.
might show up, I guess, is how a dark horse would be. They could surprise you and win. We got the Texans. I can see that.
Yeah.
The
offensive line,
Buccaneers. I
figure
don't
that
know
out.
about that after losing Evans and their wide receiver room. They haven't even
think they're
paid
expecting
Baker,
to-
and he's pissed off.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. And the defense, I think people are expecting to be better with second year of Taki Smith and Levante David's gone, but they added, who is it, Paul Posluszny, I think it is, to be the middle of that defense. No,
They
Alex
also drafted,
Anzalone.
Trotter.
Yeah, exactly. Who is eventual replacement for Levante David
Yep.
once he gets in there.
Then we got the San Francisco 49ers. They're already in injury friggin' hell from the power plant next to them.
Yeah, it's crazy. They got like one receiver healthy right now.
If that.
Well,
I
right,
don't even
and
know if they have one. That Debo
Yeah.
practiced yesterday, so he could have got hurt.
Yeah,
We
crazy.
got the Broncos, which I could see. The Bears, I could see. The Vikings, I don't know why they're on here. I just don't see that as a dark horse at all. Not in that division.
I was just gonna say, why would the Broncos be in a dark horse? They just won the division last year. Is it because they have the tougher schedule?
Must be. Then you got the
Yeah.
Chiefs up there as more of a contender.
And the Chargers they have the Chargers above them too. So
Yep. So I guess that's
Interesting.
why. And then the last one is the Steelers.
okay, I like it. I'll take it.
So I don't
think-
know about you, man, but during the break, all my freaking reels, and I don't know why. Every time I'm streaming through, I get about 2 or 3 things on the Steelers camp and how they're just like pumping it up. And Mike McCarthy's changed everything, and everybody's really excited. And then I just chuckle and go, Mike McCarthy's the guy for the Cowboys that 2 years in a row ran Dak Prescott up the middle with fucking no timeouts left and lost the game because of that coaching call. Like, be excited all you want, like. I just don't see it with McCarthy. If he wasn't the coach, the hype of these Steelers for me on this break, they might have freaking convinced me. But with him as being as the coach, I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see it.
You know what it comes down to is those close games, and that's where I always trusted Mike Tomlin in the close game. Like it might end up closer than it should be, but he was going to close it out. Where in one-score games they were going to have a good positive record that helped them get to that winning record every year that he was the coach. Mike McCarthy in the close games. You better hope they're just blowouts because if it's a close game, he's going to mess up the game management there in like the last quarter or the most important drives, like the last drive of the second half. I'm excited about this team this year, but it's because this team is so different. Like, yeah, a lot of the players are the same, but we have an offensive coach for the first time in since what? I can't even tell you the last one because
Bill
Bruce
Cowher.
Arians.
Who's the coach before Bill Cowher?
That's the one I'm drawing a blank on because we've only had like 4 coaches, and I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on it. But
he was the '70s guy. He was a freaking steel curtain guy, so he was got to be a defensive.
Right. So I don't think we've ever had an offensive coach.
No, I don't think you have.
One of the things that has me concerned though is Aaron Rodgers is a slow playing quarterback. His teams always are at the bottom third of the league for pace of play, and Mike McCarthy is a fast pace, like always one of the top 5 in plays per season. So. Again, it's just
so. If he's always one of the top 5, he must have been the top 5 with Aaron Rodgers, though.
Right, but that was also early Rodgers when he was still in his prime, starting to get to the point where he's like, okay, well, maybe the ego kicked in a little bit. But that's the other thing that's so interesting is I'm also getting headlines of like, oh, Aaron Rodgers made up with his family, so maybe this really is just a kumbaya. It's going to be the last season. Let's let you decide how things are going to go. I think they're going to pass a lot more than they have in the past. I know they say Steelers football is run the ball, play defense, and their defense is good enough to do that. But it's also Rodgers last year. I don't think he's going to want this dink and dunk. I'm only going to throw the ball 2 yards past the line of scrimmage all season to be what he goes out on. My question is just, can McCarthy? You are interested in this?
Just to see how it plays out. I don't think it's going to go well because of McCarthy, but like Steelers ball, like you said, it is run the ball, control the game with defense, do a deep play action pass 3-4 times a game to try to keep the field stretched. Is McCarthy
Right.
going to go like that because he grew up as a Steelers fan, so he knows exactly what Steelers football is? But is he going to develop something with a pass game that's still into Steelers majority running? Because if he can do that and keep this quick pace thing with these three backs and just keep them rotating,
Yeah.
then I think they could be all right with Aaron Rodgers, no matter how old he is.
Exactly. So what I'm envisioning is what Arthur Smith tried to do and failed because he didn't have the creativity and the personnel even necessarily to pull off what I think he wanted to try. And I'm picturing like that Kyle Shanahan, Mike McDaniel, even Ben Johnson. It's a run first offense, but it's running to set up the pass, where that pass efficiency is so high that you have Caleb Williams probably going to throw for 4,000 yards for the first time in Bears history this coming season because of that efficiency metric. And all he has to do is improve that completion percentage a little bit. I'm picturing something like that.
Did you see what the Steelers are doing with Darnell Washington?
No, I did not.
My God, Ben. They're just playing around with it right now. But if they fucking do it, and if he can catch on, they're trying him at fullback.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome.
Running out on the fucking plays, blocking for these motherfuckers. Like this guy is like 6'9". Could you imagine him running out on a sweep to a corner?
Right. And he's huge. Like Aaron Rodgers figured that out last season.
Well, he's 6'9", 280.
Yeah, and he started dunking into him. I know he's listed at 280, but I think like if you hear people talk about him, yeah, he's closer to like 315, 320. But that's the other thing is if you look at this offense, I know there's still some unknowns between like which version of Rico Dowdle are we getting, and is Jalen Warren going to stay healthy, and can he sustain the workload, and like what are they going to do with the tight ends because they got so many, and Jeremy Bernard's a rookie. But looking at the offense, I think they have more talent on the offense than they've had in years, maybe since the Killer Bees.
And Jeremy Bernard seems to be behind Roman Wilson right now from everything that I'm seeing.
Right, which, I mean, you expect it. Training camp just opened up. I don't think he knows the offense yet. And that's where the veterans typically get the nod to start camp anyway. So I think that's something we could probably get into is like, what do we pay attention to from camp? But we'll get there.
Did you see Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show this week?
No, I actually forgot he did that.
I think it was Monday, but yeah, he went on and like the first question Pat McAfee asked him, he pleaded the fifth. And then he just went in and tell how Dr. Fossey is a complete and utter coward and wouldn't even freaking testify with the part, and then like just ripped into him how he's going to be he's on the right side of COVID, which I thought he was all along. I thought he was the only smart guy in the whole friggin' NFL questioning it.
Well, we talked about it. We talked about the issue was maybe the wording of making it sound like he got the vaccine. And I think that was the issue that people had.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
But, and then Sean Payton says he's going to be talking to Taysom Hill this week to see if he still wants to play football. Do not bring that guy to fucking Denver. You got Bo Nix who can run. What the fuck do you want Taysom Hill there for?
Yeah, you also have, like, end of career Evan Ingram, but they drafted Justin Jolie. We like him a lot.
Yeah.
And, like, you don't have a need for it. What are you even going to use him for?
Yeah, exactly. It's just going to ruin your freaking team.
And you added Jalen Waddle. Are you going to take away touches from Jalen Waddle and your three running backs? And even your quarterback, if you were designing sneaks and stuff, just because you have this weird man love for Taysom Hill?
Yeah, I don't know. It just boggles my mind. And then since we've been off, you see all this stuff with Sophie Cunningham?
Oh, yeah. And the WNBA turning on her for defending her teammate.
Yeah, which is crazy. We're going to freaking go after this woman for standing up for women's rights for not allowing men to play in sports. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
It does not. It's not even a little bit.
Well, let's get in, talk some ball.
Yes, sir.
Time for the Grape Light, where we discuss what's happening around the league.
All right, welcome to the Great Light. And just before we started recording, it has been come out that Bijan has just signed a huge contract, 3 years, $75 million, $51 million fully guaranteed for 3 years. That is insane money for a running back.
Yep, $17 million guaranteed each year. Can't beat that. Up to $25 million. I assume that's incentive based, but either way you look at it, like Bijan has earned that money, and if you're the Falcons, he is the kind of player you want to build around, and you have to because you took him at what, 4 overall,
Was it that far
something
back?
like that. I think
Yeah.
so.
It might have been. I forget.
Yeah, because that was the Kyle Pitts year.
Well,
No,
Kyle
it wasn't.
Pitts,
It was the next year. Yeah, maybe Bijan
I
was.
think they took up 7 or something like that.
Yeah, I think you're right because Cardinal Tate was the earliest skill position since Pitts. So you're right.
Yeah, just big money, good for Bijan. That just tells you that Brian Robinson isn't going to have much of a role there because if you're paying a running back $25 million a year, he better be touching the ball every freaking time a running back touches the ball.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
put Brian in when it's like 1st and goal on the 1 yard line because you need that big body and you just want to save Bijan. But
good timing for Bijan too. Maybe not for winning football games, but he gets his contract and it comes up at the time where they're not paying a quarterback, so they can actually pay him.
Yep, and Gibbs is doing a hold in right now, waiting for his money. So the Falcons avoid that and get him there for all of training camp. And Gibbs knows what the type of money he needs now. So
yeah, I'd imagine it's going to be similar, if not within like what, 2 million, if not the same, 5 million.
Yep. And we got a bunch of news coming out of San Francisco,
as usual.
Yeah. So Ricky Pearsall having season-ending injury. So he's done for the year, not going to be in any fantasy lineups, going to sit on your IR all year. Kyle Shanahan got in a car accident, so he's limited for the start of training camp.
Yeah, it sounded like it was actually worse than they initially let on, too. Like, it messed up his eye pretty bad, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. And then we have Mike Evans came up on the injury report this week with a quad injury. So with all these injuries to the wide receiver room, the San Francisco 49ers have brought back Deebo Samuel to the roster. And everybody is way more excited about this than I am.
Yeah. And realistically, I wonder, too, if it's a situation where they don't feature him as much, but build in, like 5 to 10 plays for him every game. I think he could be valuable in that role. Not for fantasy, but for the team. And right now, like we said, they've got so many injuries. He's like one of the only healthy ones right now.
The thing is, too, like I hate him there, not so much for what he could do, because I think what you said, he could be good on another team. What I see happening is Kyle's going to go with that, and then Deebo's going to start doing shit on the field, and then Kyle's just going to lean on him and Christian McCaffrey like he always does.
Right.
And then he'll get in that play call and roll with these Deebo plays that work great because Deebo's like one of the few players that can actually perform them. And then you'll get Ray McLeod running them when Deebo's hurt or Christian Kirk running them when he's hurt. Like, come on, what are you doing here? Stribling can't run them. He's not that powerful of a guy. Deebo was a running back. That's why it worked. Like, there's very few guys that could do what Deebo does on the football field.
I think that's always kind of the concern when you have a veteran that left a team coming back, is that both the veteran and the coach fall into the old ways when that veteran is not at the same level they were. Yeah. Like they maybe lost a step, still great, but not elite anymore. And that difference means that falling back into those old ways is actually hurting the team.
Yeah, and that's what I see. We talked about Gibbs already. New Orleans, Jalen Polk retired.
Yeah, I saw this was I think medical related. He never really got that chance, right? I think he only played 2 or 3 games.
If that.
Just, unfortunate, because if I remember right, he'd never really had the injury history in college. I think he missed a couple games, but it was nothing like this. So, unfortunate. Wish him the best.
Yep. And we also had the guy from Pittsburgh, the guard, Andre Peets, retired.
That one surprised me a little bit. I think he'd been talking about it for the last couple of years. But, man, if Rodgers is going to give it one more year, give us one more year if you can handle it.
Maybe he doesn't like Rodgers.
Yeah, maybe that's it, too.
I'm not staying for one more year if he's the quarterback because he seemed to retire as soon as Rodgers showed up.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
This again, I'm done.
Yeah.
And Javon Clowney joined the Texans, so that'll be interesting. And he's just a depth piece there, so I think that's
that's just another veteran going back to what he knows.
And then the Bears yesterday lost Cody Bryant, their safety, out 8 to 10 weeks with the left knee injury.
Yeah, that's not great.
And then Tony Romo for CBS was arrested for suspicion of DWI.
So I hate to laugh at something like this, but did you see the body cam footage? Because I heard it was pretty.
No, I haven't.
apparently he started like stretching and doing like aerobic style stretching and stuff while he was just standing there out of the car. So not good. It also sounds like he's been replaced by JJ Watt in the booth, which personally,
I just saw this morning they're thinking of doing using Greg Olson.
Oh, see, I had seen something saying JJ Watt. I guess it's undecided. Maybe JJ Watt was temporary until they figure out who it's going to be. I hope Tony's able to turn it around and figure out whatever he has going on. That being said, I'm happy he's not in the booth anymore because to me, he was the most obnoxious.
Oh, I can't stand
all the play
him either.
Callers.
A DUI to me doesn't seem like something to get rid of him for.
No, I agree, but that's also where like overreactions to things all the time, and it's maybe because there's video. If there wasn't video, it's a little easier.
Even still,
like, okay,
whatever,
you're suspended without leave.
You're telling me a guy can't have one fuck up in his life? He had a good NFL career. He was a model friggin' player for like the young kids to grow up watching. Like he did everything right. And so we made a bad decision. I'm not going to say that it's right. He shouldn't have done it, but at the same time, it's DWI. I don't think you need to lose your job over it. Just smarten the fuck up. You do it again, you're going to lose it.
Well, that's one thing we talk about in this community all the time. Like, as in the world is we need more forgiveness in this world. Like, your worst mistake does not define you.
Yep.
And if your worst mistake is a DUI, like, all right, you're doing pretty good. As long as that DUI doesn't kill somebody.
You got too happy one night and didn't realize it and got behind the wheel. Luckily, you didn't kill anybody, and you just got.
Yeah, that's the big part here.
Right. Did you see Notre Dame's new $100 million facility that they made?
I did not, but I'm not surprised because they're one of the college teams that keeps all of their media revenue to themselves.
Well, and apparently since the start of Notre Dame, people have always complained about their facilities, and people don't go there, declare to go there because the facilities are so bad. Like they were showing old time coaches going back to early 80s complaining about the facilities at Notre Dame and how bad they are. Now all this $100 million facility was all donated by the alumni too. So not the university didn't pay a fucking dime into it. When like, you get a time, man, go and freaking do a virtual tour or like look at something for this facility. It is fucking amazing. They have a practice field that projects holographic plays onto it. So when you do a run through, you can see how the other team's going to react. Like it's like the next level of what Jaden Daniels does.
That's super cool.
Yeah, like it is. I saw it and I'm just like, oh my God. And it's so fucking beautiful too. Like before you walk into the locker room, it's all this green friggin' plastic type of walls or metal walls. Can't tell the material, but it's like all designed. And then in between has like gold, yellow lighting. So it looks like you're following a pot of gold into the locker room.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is fucking amazing. Nice. We also have DeAndre Hopkins has joined the coaching crew of Georgia Tech to be a wide receivers coach there.
I saw that, and he also made sure to say that he's not retired, so he's still interested in coming back to the NFL.
Yep.
I don't know how that works.
I was wondering too, but I don't know. You can't really.
Good luck.
What's he going to come in? One play a game?
Right. Well, isn't that? Did he even do anything last season?
He came in for a couple plays, like 3 or 4 I can remember, but nothing major. And it was all like in the red zone stuff where you'd rather him than what they had on the Ravens roster anyways.
Right.
And then did you see this stupid fucking ruling that the NCAA judge made on that?
Is it the one where they're trying to push back on the 5-year eligibility?
Well, this is sort of that,
tied into
but
that.
This is like he's now clarified a bit more. So say you do 3 years, okay? You declare for the draft. You should be done in the NCAA. No more friggin' years, right?
Yep.
Say you don't get drafted, you go undrafted. You go to a team now, you get to that team. You don't make the team as an undrafted free agent. You can now have 2 years of eligibility still that you can return to the NCAA for a team and finish your 2 years of eligibility.
Is that what the NCAA is saying that they want?
That's what the judge just did. And the NCAA is saying they don't want it, but a judge has overruled it and saying, no, this is allowed.
Yeah, okay. Well, then in that case, I'm with the NCAA. Like, nah, once you declare that you're going pro, you shouldn't be able to come back.
Yeah, and I totally
You need to
fucking ridiculous.
You need to get enough information of whether you're going to be drafted or not. And if you don't get drafted, sorry, that sucks, but at least now you get to choose a team if somebody wants you undrafted.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, I think that would be a problem.
That's what we got for the news. Now that you got the grapes, go make the wine. Next 5. Who would you rather have over the next 5 years in the NFL? Right, we are into next 5, and today I'm going to be giving Alex 5 guys, and then he's going to say who he'd like to have on his team over the next 5 years. So we are going with quarterbacks here on this one.
Okay.
And I've got 5 for you. I've got their ages and their contracts for their next 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start out here. We got Trevor Lawrence, who's 27. This year, do $24 million. Then 35, 47, and in 29, making $78 million a year.
In other words, restructured.
Yeah. Then we got Jackson Dart, who's 23, still in his rookie contract. So he's making 3.8, then 4.6, then 5.4, then $16 million if they pick up his option. Okay. Then we got Brock Purdy, same age as Trevor Lawrence, 27. Similar pay scale, but he's 23 instead of 24, 30 instead of 35, 56 instead of 47, and ends with 71 instead of 78.
Yeah.
Then these last 2 guys are the older quarterbacks. So we got Dak Prescott, who's 33. Mm-hmm. He's only under contract for 3 more years, 43, 76, 86.
Jeez, so you're going to have to restructure like next year.
Yeah. Then we got Jared Goff, who's 32, and he's also got 3 years left on his contract, 37, 62, 69.
Jeez. Well, you see here exactly why it's important to get that rookie quarterback contract right. Because I think I'm going Jackson Dart here. Because even when you elevate to his $16 million in that 5th-year option, you can sign him to an extension. And if you're willing to pick up that 5th-year option, he's probably worth that $16 million already. So if you pay him a little more, you're going to end up in a situation where you have these cheaper contracts at the front end. Like we're seeing all these escalators. Once that quarterback's hitting 60, 70 million, like
that's
good luck building a team around that.
Yeah.
And I know that
like you got to win your Super Bowl before you're paying your quarterback. And if I was a GM right now with the way these quarterback contracts are, especially like Dak Prescott, do $76 million and 86, like come on, I'm trading your ass.
What?
I'm going to draft another fucking rookie, and I'm going to have a freaking quarterback coach that just knows how to develop guys. And I'm going to pay him $10 million a year because I need him to develop a new guy every 4 fucking years.
Exactly. Look at Miami. They have, what was it, $100 million dead cap hit because they cut Tua?
Yeah.
Like this just nuts. Why don't they make these? I mean, it's not best for the players by any means, but we talk about all these guarantees. Make that guaranteed base salary a certain number and then tack on incentives for these guys to make that crazy money. So you are actually being paid based on how you play. So you win a Super Bowl, cool. Your guarantee goes way up.
You know the Deshaun Watson contract, right? 200.
Yeah, it was 200
million fully guaranteed.
Did
you hear what the Browns did? They've gotten $141 million of that back because they took out personal insurance in case he couldn't play. So on this personal insurance, Deshaun Watson never played enough games where that wouldn't kick in. So they got money back.
Yeah, so
games he didn't fucking play. So I'm like, okay. The Browns were fucking smart. They still had to pay Deshaun all that fucking money, but at least they recouped some money back through insurance policy.
Yeah, and that's one way I think teams could start doing this. And like, it's kind of like that scene from Mr. Deeds where he owns that football team and the quarterback comes in and the quarterback's pissed off. He's like, I ain't even playing another down until I get more money. He's like, well, if you played bad, can we renegotiate and pay you less money? Shit, no.
I think that's how it should be.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily pay them less because, like, you don't want to take money away from them necessarily, but take future earnings. So, like, if you have that massive contract where you're making $86 million or whatever, and you play like shit, okay, well, you're not getting a contract again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You need to maintain being in the top 10 in the NFL for your position to maintain this pay. If you don't, then it drops down this much, like things like that for that following year.
Or just start to get people's mind shift to the fact that, like, your contract is for what you've already accomplished, not what you're going to do. Like, if you're going to make these contracts so bloated like they are, okay, well, you're getting paid for what you already did, not what we think you're going to do moving forward. But I don't know how you would enforce that in any way, because then you're still okay. Well, you played like shit. You're gone. Your contract doesn't mean anything. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, when I look at this list, I think I'm going Brock Purdy.
He was my next option there. I thought about Trevor because he's also got Liam Cohen there, and I think that's going to be a good match. It's
But
just
we
that
still need to
escalator
see
toward the end.
back-to-back years from Trevor Lawrence before.
Right,
I would pick him
exactly.
Before, but yeah,
You haven't seen
I
that
don't mind
consistency
those
yet.
contracts. It's just that last year, but then, like you said, right, you renegotiate, so that $56 million is just whatever. But that's our next 5. Stay tuned for next episode when we do it again.
All-time matchups. We take an NFL team and we give that team's all-time lineup of anybody who's ever played for that team. Which team will win?
All right, welcome to all-time lineup. Today we're going to be doing the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'll tell you, Alex, we got a problem right off the hop going with quarterback. I know you got Mark Brunell. I'm going Trevor Lawrence because I think Mark Brunell held them back. Not that he wasn't good or anything. He friggin' exceeded expectations, got the Jaguars to a Super Bowl really friggin' early. Yeah. But I just think he held them back. And if you had a guy like Trevor Lawrence who could get that coaching like Brunell had, I think we could see him hone in those skills and be a little bit better than what Mark Brunell was.
So initially I had Trevor Lawrence, but it comes down to what you talked about last segment, where we haven't seen him do it back-to-back years and put that consistency together. And Brunell has that longevity. I know that you're talking about him potentially holding them back. I didn't get to watch him play that much, unfortunately, because of when his career was. But I don't know if you could see it. There's a Jaguars helmet up there behind me that actually has his autograph on it. So maybe that's part of it. What's that?
He was a good quarterback. I'd put him in like that Rich Gannon kind of conversation. You know what I mean? Great quarterback for his era, but not Hall of Fame worthy.
Well, actually, kind of like the path you said Josh Allen might be on, where it's you play great, you put up great numbers, you win a lot of games, but you keep losing to somebody else. Like Peyton Manning, Drew Brees had, Tom Brady, Drew Brees had, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. Like they all were just beating up on each other. And then kind of like a Phillip Rivers, right? Like you play a long time, you put up a lot of numbers, but are you Super or Hall of Fame worthy? You never got the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Did he even play for an AFC championship? I don't think he even did. Rivers.
I think he got there one time, and then I think they got destroyed, if I remember right. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember them ever in it. It was always freaking the Colts and the Patriots, and then every now and then there'd be somebody else thrown in that shouldn't have been. Like that. 1 year Rex Ryan took the Jets with Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, that one was crazy. Big Ben got there a couple times. That was fun.
Yeah, but so who are we going with then, Brunell?
So for me, are we looking more for like a team?
I think Trevor can get the ball better to these wide receivers. That's why I went with him. But I get the whole point. He hasn't put back years together. But I think that's the Urban Meyer's effect. And then fucking Doug Peterson isn't as good as people think he is because he kind of fizzles out after a year or so.
Yeah, he's great that first and second year. And then by year 4, everybody's like, I'm so done with this guy.
Yeah.
The thing is, I like the tool set and the raw talent that Trevor has. And I do think he finally has the coach. So I can concede going Trevor Lawrence here because, like I said, I actually had him first. It was just looking at him like, man, Brunell did it for so much longer and more consistent. Yeah, but again, I'm looking at numbers there. So Trevor Lawrence it is.
That brings us to running back because they've had some great running backs for the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Fred Taylor, Maurice Jones-Drew, playoff Lenny, but he wasn't playoff Lenny yet, so I kind of take him off the list.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So it comes down to Maurice Jones-Drew and Fred Taylor for me. And I could go either way with this one. It's just what do you want, right? Because Fred Taylor was more I'm going to run through you type of guy, where Maurice Jones-Drew is going to deke and use his speed.
And that's where MJD is more my type of running back. But again, that career longevity of Fred Taylor too. I had to give it to him. But I like the style of a player like MJD more. Plus, 81 total touchdowns in his career. Like that's a lot. His peak season was, I think, 1,600 rushing yards.
Yeah, and
So-
he's the first guy I can remember to run down towards the end zone and stop on the 1 yard line.
Yeah. Yep.
Costing people championships. It
Yep,
was
very
hilarious.
smart player, and has also made a career in the media after. So well-rounded.
All right, so we're going with
where are
Fred
you at?
Taylor. I
Either
like
one.
MGD style, but I think Fred Taylor fits any team style better. Where MGD,
Yeah, I can see
you
that.
kind of need the right offensive lineman and tight end to get those downfield blocks.
Right. Yeah, I can see it. Like I said, I had Fred Taylor down, but MJD is more my type also.
Yeah. That brings us to wide receiver. I didn't really see too much debate with what you had in Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardell, and Allen Robinson, because then you go to either Brian Thomas Jr., Torrey Holt was there for a bit, but that was like past his great show on turf style, and Alan Hearns, so not much there.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you want to make an argument to put Brian Thomas Jr. in there, I think it kind of falls in the category of Trevor Lawrence, right? Like, we've seen it once, let's see it again first.
Yeah, exactly. And Cardell and Smith were an awesome tandem for Mark Brunell. So if you can get those two guys with Trevor Lawrence, because I think Trevor Lawrence can make all the throws that Brunell can, then some.
Yeah, I can see that, especially because of his base, right? Like, he's got a lot more mobility than Mark Brunell, which just adds another layer.
Yeah, and a little smarter just because the game's developed that much more and people understand it a little bit better. Tight end, I didn't really see too much here.
No, for me, it was just the longevity of Mercedes Lewis. And like, he was never great, but he was just there. He was consistent. And he played a long time.
That's who I went with as well. We're going to skip the offensive line because not too many people know them, but we'll do two defensive ends. I got the same guy as you with Josh Allen Hines. I think he's the best one that's ever been there for the Jaguars.
Yeah,
and
I
went
so too.
Cletus Campbell, where you went, where was it? Tony Brackens.
Yeah, Brackens was the forced fumble machine. That's what got me there. But Calais Campbell was the other name that came up for me. So I'm good going either way. It's just what kind of mean talent do you want on the other side?
Well, so here's the difference, I think, because where I went with two fucking headhunters at the safety position, and you didn't.
Okay.
Which is why I went Campbell over Tony. So at safety, I've got Donovan Darris, who's one of he was a hard hitting fucking safety.
Yeah, we
time
both had
where
him.
Dawkins and Reed were there, so you just didn't hear about him as much. But he was hard hitting, and Reggie Nelson was also a hard hitting one. Where you went Darius.
I went Darius
and Gibson.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. I was thinking Gibson more on the back end for the turnovers he creates with the ball hawk ability. But I also, I love hard hitting safety play, so I'm fine with pivoting there and going just a meaner, more aggressive defense with Campbell on the other side also.
Yeah, and he holds the anchor down more so for those running backs and coming out, right? Like he's just good at setting that edge. That's kind of why I went with him. Safety, we'll go with these two guys. So that brings us to linebackers. We
Actually,
both have Paul Posney on there.
Yep, he's one that I think makes a ton of sense. He was consistent for them throughout his career.
And then I've got Kevin Hardy and Devin Lloyd because I thought there was a big drop after Paul. And then you've got D. Smith and Frank Alonocon.
Yep, Aluakine is the one that we always talk about now with the just insane tackle upside, just smart player, also contributes sacks at times. The other side,
got to go with him.
Yeah, and then for me, Darryl Smith was just one of those guys that was just another tackling machine, another middle linebacker. I like tackles. He was also okay in coverage, not great, but wasn't going to bring a whole lot otherwise. So to me, it's just I want the guys that are smart on defense, play smart defense, create turnovers. But I also like Devin Lloyd, and he's one for some reason I always forget about. So
a lot of people do, even for fantasy.
Yeah. Are we going?
Up some numbers.
Are we going 4-3 defense or 3-4?
I did 4-3, but I didn't.
Okay,
I didn't do the tackles either, so no worries there.
Okay, yeah. So I'd be good with a 4-3. So Puslesny, Aluakine, and where are we going for the other one? Lloyd.
Just
You
have
think that
tackling
works?
machines all over the fucking place.
Yeah. 'Cause
You ain't getting by our middle line.
Nope.
And then corners, obviously, we got to have Jalen Ramsey in there. And
Yeah.
we both have Mathis, so we're the same on that. So
Yeah. At
That's
corner,
our
I thought was
Jaguars.
the easiest position.
yeah, the Jaguars are one of the newer teams, so there's not much really debate. A lot of these positions were just like, oh, it's got to be this because it's hard to make
Yeah.
a case for this guy over these people.
Yep.
But
Agreed. But
that's
that
how we-
talent is getting deeper for them.
Yep. And that's how we see the all-time great Jaguars team if you could take people from any era.
Fantasy Light.
All right, we're into Fantasy Light, and today we're going to be talking sleepers. So we'll start with Alex's list here, and these are in no particular order. We just kind of threw our top 10 sleepers into a lineup here. So Alex got Tyler Shuck of the Saints, Brock Purdy of the 49ers, Rashad White of the Commanders, David Montgomery of the Texans, and Christian Watson of the Packers. That's your first five.
Yeah, so for Shuck, I like the addition of Jordan Tyson, and with what Kellen Moore has done already. Like he had what was it, Spencer Rattler that started? He went 1-7, and then Shuck came in and they won the last 5. So ended strong and had a better rookie season, I think, than people realize. So give me Tyler Shuck to take a step forward and elevate that Saints offense a little bit. And then Brock Purdy, same thing. I like the additions they made on offense. Hopefully,
if
they can be there. Yeah, I was just going to say. Yep.
I found Rashad White pretty interesting for the Commanders because I just don't see him as a starting guy.
Well, I think what the Commanders wanted was for Jacory Krosky-Merritt to pick up everything and just become that 3-down back. And it seemed like he was really struggling in that role, but was good at running the ball. I just think Jane Daniels has that rushing ability, and that's going to open things up a little more with Rashad White. He's never been efficient between the tackles, but he could be efficient outside and with those dump-off passes, which I think Jane Daniels is going to start to like, especially coming off the injury season, might not want to run as much this year.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't. These mobile quarterbacks need to learn when they need to run. Like Lamar does really well at it. Your next
exactly.
5, you got Kenneth Gainwell for the Bucks, DeAndre Swift for the Bears, DJ Moore for the Bills, Michael Pittman for the Steelers, and Sam Laporta for the Lions.
Yeah, so for Laporta, the thing that stands out to me is Drew Petzing and what he was able to do with Trey McBride. I think Laporta has a little more talent to be tapped into than McBride does. And I think Petzing is just going to take advantage of that. The downside, of course, is that Amon-Ra St. Brown is still there. Jamison Williams is still there. Jahmyr Gibbs still needs to get his. So there's plenty to go around, but I think Laporta takes a step forward, and we're going to see probably the best year of his career, maybe this year and next year.
Well, I hope he's had a couple down years.
Yeah, and
he was looking fucking awesome there when he started his rookie year.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we see more of that too, and I think part of it was play calling and injuries. That back injury was bothering him most of last season. And then with Pittman, that comes with the excitement of the Steelers. Like, if things hit, somebody on that team is going to be more valuable. And like I said, when we traded for him, I think he fits what Aaron Rodgers is now more than DK does.
Well, have you seen what they're doing with DK, though?
Are they actually moving him around?
They are moving him around like Cooper Kupp, like freaking Puka Nacua, like CeeDee Lamb did. Like he's in that CeeDee Lamb role, and they're putting him everywhere. So to me, that kind of leaned me off of Pittman, because I'm like, if you're moving him off of everywhere, that means DK is getting 10 to 15 targets a game.
See, and that's where I'm hoping that the year off for McCarthy maybe got him a little more modernized and up to date with today's NFL. Or at least
you would hope.
Looking at today's NFL and going, okay, what can I exploit? Because we need to be different, you know?
And then you got DeAndre Swift on here. Me personally, I think Monange takes that job by the end of the year, even though I love Swift. For some reason, I think Brad friggin' Campbell hates Swift.
I mean, I know a lot of people think that way. I just, my issue with that is Monange's a 7th round pick. And he still didn't show anything in pass protection or like with actually catching the football. And that's something that I think if you want to improve Caleb Williams' accuracy, you can give him easier throws. And to me, that's Swift, not Monange. So.
Oh, I agree. It's a feeling I have, right? Like,
Well, so like that's the other thing is like I try to go a little deeper with most of my sleepers. It's just with Swift, I think he's a locked in RB2. Like if he finishes the season, he's an RB2. And maybe he falls into a few more touchdowns because the offense is just better with year 2 of Ben Johnson.
And he should have some RB1 weeks, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
All right,
So-
we'll move on to my list.
Mhm.
So my first 5, I've mentioned him before. Donovan Wicks, the Philadelphia Eagles. I like this guy is
Catch the
just
ball.
going to explode. He's going to be the guy opposite of Devontae Smith, so he's going to be a lot of playing time.
Mhm.
Then someone you can get in your last round of your rookie drafts, Jonathan Brooks with the Carolina Panthers. Man, there's going to be no real investment into him at this point unless you drafted him as a rookie, but to get him for the season, trade for him right now, it's pretty cheap, and he does have a path where I could see him getting RB1 work over Chuba Hubbard, but time will tell. But for the price, he's a quick, cheap buy.
Well, what do you think you can get him for? Because I've tried to get him in a few places, and he was more than I thought.
See, that's the thing. Like right now, I think to get him in the dynasty, you got to at least give up a third, possibly a second to get him.
Yeah,
because people pay
it's
the
at least a
first for him.
second.
Yeah.
It's at least a second right now, I think. From
But
what I'm
like,
seeing,
if you're going into a seasonal draft or whatever right now, you can get him in one of the last rounds.
Yeah, I agree. Seasonal and redraft, he's cheap.
Yeah. And then my next guy here is Antonio Williams for the Commanders. There's just nobody else there. I know Scary Terry's there, but defenses are going to focus on him.
I actually saw this.
Going to open up Antonio a lot, and I think he's going to be the guy to own for the Commanders.
Well, I think those throws are going to be easier than the throws Terry's going to be getting.
Yep, for sure.
And if Jaden's in that mode of like, all right, I was injured all last season. I don't want to deal with that again. So let's find those easier throws. I said coming out, I think he could be a lighter version of Zay Flowers. And last year we just saw Zay Flowers finish as wide receiver 7.
Was he that high?
That's it's crazy. It was that was one looking at stuff over like our break there. That was one that I was like, holy crap, I didn't realize he was that high. And it's because he actually got the touchdowns, you know?
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
My next guy is Jalen Noel of the Texans.
I like it.
Now that's wide receiver room's kind of been cleared out. Those 2 rookies from last year are going to have a role. I also got another slot guy here next, and Parker Washington for the Jaguars. Every chance he gets, man, he just shines. And I think Liam Cohen saw that last year, moved on from Myers, and is going to give Parker Washington finally a full season chance at being the slot guy.
Well, the only thing with that is they gave Myers that extension. And I agree with you on Parker Washington. The only reason he's not on my list is because he seems to be on everybody's list. And it's one of those like, okay, well, if everybody's hyping him up, is he still really a sleeper, or is it just everybody likes him?
Still getting drafted low, though. When you start putting that name up to other ones, he still slips. I also have Gainwell on here, so we both have him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the only guy we both have.
Interesting. And I think that's that's the Bucky Irving factor, right? Like, still not quite healthy with that shoulder, which is crazy.
Not only that, the Bucks do like using 2 running backs heavily.
Yeah,
so it's got to be Gainwell that they're paying $8 million a year to.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. 2 years, $16 million, something like that.
Yeah. My next one here is C.J. Stroud. I think he gets back to that rookie year form that he was in. They finally fixed that line. It took them a few years, but they finally got it back to where it was his rookie year. So I think he's going to have a little bit more time to get that ball out to these receivers.
That's one of the situations that I think is important to watch in training camp is what are the reports coming out about that line?
Yeah, because they got a gel still.
Yeah, they added pieces. Can they all work together?
Yeah. Then I got Travis Etienne for the New Orleans Saints. I think he's just going to explode, like easily RB1 category this year.
I almost put him on my list too. I was afraid he was already too high.
Then I got Rashid Shaheed for the Seahawks. Full off season with them. I think he's going to be their wide receiver 2 there, which is obviously going to shoot him up boards. And then my last one is Christian Kirk for the 49ers. I debated about putting Darnell Washington there because I think he's going to explode into the tight end 1 conversation as well.
I like it. Our lists are very different. There's lots of names, but you can easily justify each name we picked, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Christian Kirk is actually, I think, one of the few healthy receivers right now.
Oh,
Isn't
he's hurt.
he? No, he's hurt too.
Yep,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
hurt. The whole list is hurt. There's pretty much the whole wide receiver room's hurt, I think, except for Debo, but he's only had one practice and he hasn't been around those electrical outlets for a while. So. But like, who was it? The Carr brothers. Have you seen their podcast?
Who?
The David Carr and.
Oh no, I haven't. I didn't know
they got
podcast.
one. And they were talking about it, and they're like, about the practice field, and they've actually practiced on this field, right? At some point in their careers. Yeah. They were like, "Have you ever seen a bird there?" And the guy's like, "No." What about an insect, an ant, anything? No, nothing on that side of the field. So if you don't got any sort of animals or insects near this power station, how are you not putting two and two together? You know what I mean?
They're staying away for a reason.
Be over there.
That's crazy.
But they are looking at moving it, so we'll see what happens. But that's our sleepers for fantasy for the upcoming season. Next week we'll be doing something. We'll figure it out for next episode.
Maybe bust or something.
Bust would be a good one. Let's do bust.
All right.
Fantasy IDP.
All right, we'll flop over to the other side of the ball to IDP players, and we're going to be giving our IDP sleepers for the year. So we'll call up Alex's list here. So Alex's, again, these are in no order. We just kind of slapped 10 names, our top 10 on here. So he starts out with Dallas Turner from the Vikings, Caleb Downs from the Cowboys, Al Shire from the Texans, Jalen Phillips from the Panthers, and Nolan Smith from the Eagles. It's his first 5.
Yep. Any that particularly stand out for you? Because
well, I got Caleb Downs on my list and Jalen Phillips on my list. Nolan Smith kind of jumped out at me because I could see it because he kind of took over that role near the end of last season.
Yeah, and the playoff run is really what got me thinking, okay, maybe they found something with him where it clicked in place. Or they're using him right, and he knows what he's supposed to do. Same with Jalen Phillips, right? Because he was traded halfway through the season
to the Eagles, and now he's got a team where they're actually going to have to use him on. That's why I got him on there, right? Like he's going to have to be more of an every down player for the Panthers than he ever had to with the Eagles. So
yeah, and then
or the Dolphins, because the Dolphins had good defensive edges too, but he just couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah. Right, and that was also where he was drafted, so didn't necessarily understand the speed of the game and the concepts and all that stuff yet. Where he's got that now.
And then Al Shazir, I can see, but not a guy I would have on my list just because he's an outside linebacker. It's pretty hard to break onto the scene.
Yeah, and the thing with that too, which like gave me some pause, is that he didn't have any sacks last season, which is not great for your outside linebacker position. He's just one of those tackling.
And he's more of a cover guy too than he is a sack guy. Like he's going to get you more interceptions than he is sacks.
Exactly.
Your next 5, you got Mafe for the Bengals, Thomas for the Seahawks, Alonzo for the Bucks,
Anzalone.
Will McDonald for the Jets, and Tiki Smith for the Bucks.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember, but Taki Smith, I think my top 10. So this is just, I think he's going to have a great year. I think Todd Bowles in year 2 with him, after seeing what he was able to do, is just going to take another step forward. And that's the kind of player that I like on my IDP team, is that safety that's doing everything. I'm trying to think of who else I had. Will McDonald, I think, is finally going to put it all together on the other side there, since Jermaine Johnson's gone now, right? And they added Tavondre Sweat. Yeah, I think Sweat's going to eat up some of those tackles and free up McDonald on the outside a little more. So Jake Thomas also weird
that Johnson's the guy that Salah had to go get to,
isn't it? It's real weird. So maybe he's going to be unlocked this season, even though I don't know.
He's been all right.
Yeah.
We'll see what they do with him, right? Like if you have him coming in behind Justin Simmons, he should blow up. But at the same time, we don't know how they're going to use him, because they also need somebody on the other side of Simmons as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends what they do.
Yep, it'll be real interesting to see how some of these teams plans out. But that's one of the best things about this time of year, right? Everything's optimistic.
Yep.
It's all, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great until it's not, and then I told you so.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We hit the preseason, somebody does something good. It's like, see, I told you he's gonna be amazing. And then it's like that Travion Henderson last year where you saw 2 touchdowns in his first game. And then Well, first preseason game, and then we get into the regular season, and he gets 10 touches, does nothing with it, and then it's Stevenson until Stevenson gets hurt.
Yeah. All right. Well,
wild one.
Going to my list, I've got Corey Schlesinger on here because if you can get him anything else, if he doesn't go as the first IDP player, to me, he's a fucking sleeper because I think he finishes as the top IDP player for this year. So that's the only reason I got him on here. He's going.
So it's kind of like me with Taki Smith, just doubling down on a guy you already. I get it.
I think he's the number one guy to own. So that's why the only reason he's on here. If somebody doesn't take him one, he's a sleeper at that point for me.
Yep.
I got Jalen Phillips and Caleb Downs on my list, just like you. I just see good things for them. Then I got Mark Wilson for the Arizona Cardinals, middle linebacker, had a decent season last year. That team's only getting better, which means he's only going to get better. Yep. Then I've got, I don't know how to say this, Jalyx Hunt for the Eagles. It's a guy they drafted. I think it is. Jalyx Hunt, yeah. They drafted him to replace Montez Sweat, who moved on. He wasn't working out, wasn't catching on as much as they liked. So then they traded for Jalen Phillips midway through the season, and he took over that role. So now it's Hunt again chance. So if he's learned anything from his rookie year and how to be a professional and learn, I think he's going to jump onto the scene.
He's a name that just missed my list, so I like that one.
Then I got Jake. What's his name there? Is it Jacob Rodriguez for the Dolphins?
Jake.
Yeah.
Yep.
For the Dolphins, middle linebacker. I know he's a rookie, but he's going to surprise people, and they are going to be on defense a lot. So he should rack up the tackles.
Yep.
Then I got Junior Colson, the guy that Harbaugh just couldn't quit. It's finally his time. He is, rookie last year, so he didn't really get much playing time. He's going to get a lot more playing time this year, so I expect him to come up in the middle linebacker position, probably, linebacker 2 category easily. Then I'm going Travis Hunter. If they're going to play him more on defense, I'm going to put him as IDP sleeper because that's how they should have been doing him all along, is more on defense and sparing plays on offense. So I think he's gets the number that's going to jump him up a lot.
He is a playmaker, so we'll see it.
Then I got Latu of the Colts and George Kalifanakis of the Chiefs.
I like it. Karlaftis, the Greek freak. Is that you're talking about?
The big Greek freak.
Yep,
At some point, he's got to take over that line from Jones because Jones is just getting up there in age.
Yeah, I would agree. And he's also been less productive the last couple of seasons, just not making the same impact he did before he got paid. And I don't think it's that he's just slacking or anything like that. I just don't think he has the same level he had before he got paid.
Yeah, it could be play calling. Spags is pretty good at changing up the defensive style every year too, and who's
and it could
keeping you guessing. So a lot to do with that too. But I think his time's coming now. You got to use him as the number one guy for that defense on the line.
Yeah, and it could be also those situations where he's making an impact, but you don't see it because it's the offensive line doubling him and letting somebody else be free kind of situation. That's harder to spot. Yeah.
And if you can get Chris Jones, those single friggin' one-on-ones, watch out.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things I like about our list too, is these are all guys that I think you could make cases for maybe being that 10 to 20, 11 to 20 range. Swap these sleepers in with some of these guys that we had in our 11 to 20 at the positional previews we did.
And IDP changes every season too. So a defensive
edge
that does awesome in 1 year might not do great the next year. But that's our IDP fantasy sleepers for 2026.
Prediction time. What do we see? How do we see it? Do we see the future or do we not?
All right, welcome to Prediction Month, and here we're just going to go by divisions for each episode and giving our predictions and what we think might happen per division in the season. So we'll start out here with my predictions. So here's my 2026 predictions for the NFC North. I think the Lions are going to finish first in that division. I got the Bears second, Packers third, and the Vikings fourth.
So we're pretty close.
Yeah. I got my top quarterback. I think it's going to be Caleb Williams for the Bears. I think Bears finally get a 4,000-yard season, and that'll be the whole 2026 identity of the Bears, finally having a quarterback do that.
Yeah.
Top running back for this division, I've got Jahmyr Gibbs for the Lions. Top wide receiver I got is Ahmad St. Brown for the Lions. My top tight end is Colson Loveland for the Bears. And my top rookie, I put as Zion Thomas for the Bears. And then I made a bold prediction because of how I got my standings and how I think this division is going to play out, that Kevin O'Connell gets fired this season.
Oh, boy. Well, if you can't win your division, that is a good reason to get fired, regardless of how, quote-unquote, prolific your offense is at times.
Yeah, and they haven't been the same since Cousins left.
No, they have not. That's for sure. They were good under Darnold, but it was 14-2, right?
Yep.
But obviously he thought that Darnold still didn't give him enough of what he wanted, and then maybe that's the decision that he looks back on and regrets.
Well, who's making the decision not to pay the quarterback? Coach has to have some say in that.
I would think so, but you never know with some of these teams. And, the Vikings just hired their GM, like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So fire theirs right before the draft. And then
Kevin O'Connell's choice here, because he got the GM fired already, and then they went without one for a bit till he could find one he could work with.
And that's where I think that you get a lot of credit for me on that, calling him to be fired, because usually your coach, if you're giving your coach this much power that he's picking the GM, he outlasted the last GM that hired him, and you've been giving him say in the player personnel. I mean, we saw it with Bill Belichick. At some point, it stops working.
Well, look at McDaniels. Or not McDaniels, McDermott for the Bills.
Yeah, exactly. Another situation, right?
Yep. And he was in the last 4 years, McDermott was the second coach with wins losses, only behind Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, that makes sense. So give me your last 3 categories again, because I think I forgot those ones or cut them off when I sent you.
I never really gave categories, so just kind of left it open. But I did my top quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and then a top rookie for the division. And then I made a bold prediction with KOC getting fired.
Well, I like that bold prediction. So I don't want to copy you on everything, but I do also agree. I could see that happening, especially with the way that I have the division in order. And I also agree Colson Loveland is my top tight end in the division. Honorable mention, Sam Laporta.
And really,
Tucker Kraft for that matter.
When you
There's some good tight ends in this division.
Offensive rookies for this division, there isn't much.
No, there's really not, is there?
No. So it was Zion Thomas by process of elimination. All freaking cards on the table.
Yeah, trying to think about it. Who is
First
the
3
offensive
rounds
rookie?
were all friggin' defense for that division.
Yeah, which makes sense if you look at the offenses in this division.
Yep. So I think you would have ended up with the same rookie anyways.
Probably because I can't even think of one right now.
Yeah.
Green Bay kind of cleared out the room.
I was like, Zion Thomas come to my head right away, but I'm like, who's going to compete with it? And I couldn't even find another name.
No, that's a fair point. Okay.
Interesting. We'll get to your predictions here. So who we got? Alex's 2026 predictions. He's got the Bears finishing first, the Lions second, and finishing the same way with the Packers and the Vikings in 3rd and 4th. Top quarterback, you went Goff for the Lions. Top running back, you went Gibbs for the Lions. And top pass catcher, you went Ahmad St. Brown for the Lions.
Yep.
Switching how do you not have the fucking Lions over the Bears?
Well, I'll tell you. I think that if you look at these two teams, I think that the injuries that the Lions have suffered the last 2 seasons, and already in this camp that just started, a week ago, in their secondary specifically, I think that the Bears have the better defense, and that better defense is going to make them better in close games, which means that the Lions might be playing catch up more. So I think the yardage ends up in Goff's favor over Caleb Williams. Though I do agree with you. Maybe that's my bold prediction. I think Caleb Williams hits 4,000 passing yards for the first time in Bears history.
Yep.
So I think that happens this year. So we'll make that my bold prediction.
If he doesn't hit it this year, the Bears will never have a 4,000-yard pass catcher or thrower. Never.
Yeah, I could see that.
He doesn't do it this year. All the pieces are there.
That's the crazy part. So looking at this Bears offense, so they trade away DJ Moore. Okay, he didn't do a ton, but that was still, I think, 100 plus targets there, 110, 120. And then it consolidates things a little more because after Loveland, Burden, and Adunze, what else do they have? Like the rookie you added, Xavier Thomas, like he'll chip in, take the top off the defense. I think Monangai and Swift are kind of locked in as the 1-2 there. And then the defense, I think they got better. And year 2 in this offense, like you have to hit 4,000 yards. And the easy way to do that is, okay, consolidate targets, make Caleb with year 2 in the offense understand, trust the play more than just trying to run around, improve that completion percentage from like 58 to, 63%. And well, there's your 4,000 yards because he was 3,700 last year.
Yeah, like it should be an easy go for him, especially with this extra game. Like, come on. And that's
Right.
what I'm saying. If they don't do it this year, it's never going to happen in my lifetime.
Exactly. And he had 27 touchdowns last year? I think that number goes up passing.
Yeah, I would say so. He's got to get better every year. Otherwise, what's the point, right? You're number 1 overall pick. But that's our predictions for the NFC North. And that brings us to brings us to the end of the show. We're no longer doing Shine the Light. If strange things come up, we're just going to talk about it in the intro just to keep things more smooth. So we'll be more about just a football show. So,
especially coming up on the season too, we've got predictions, we've got positional previews, which we started. I'm sure we're going to revisit and update as we get closer to the season and we start getting more training camp news. Football season's hyping up, so we want to start to stick to more football for you guys.
Yep. So, hope you enjoyed the show. Until next time.
Have a good one.